Credit card debt is money you owe to a credit card company. It's as simple as that. When you use a credit card, you are borrowing money. You are not spending your own cash from your bank account. Instead, the card provider pays the shop for you. They then send you a bill for everything you have bought. If you pay this bill in full and on time, you won't have any debt. But if you only pay a part of the bill, or none of it at all, the leftover amount becomes your credit card debt. This is the money you need to pay back later. People use credit cards for many reasons every single day. It can be very convenient for online shopping, where using a card is often easier and safer. You might use it for your weekly food shop at the supermarket. It's also common to use a credit card for bigger purchases, like a new television or a holiday booking. Sometimes it's for an unexpected emergency. For example, your car might break down suddenly, or your washing machine might stop working. A credit card can feel like a helpful safety net in these moments, allowing you to cover costs you didn't plan for. The problem begins when spending gets out of hand. It is very easy to just tap your card without really thinking about the total cost. Each small purchase adds up over the month. If you are spending more money on your card than you earn, you are heading for trouble. This is called living beyond your means. You might buy things you want, but don't necessarily need. The bill at the end of the month can be a real shock. When you can't afford to pay the full amount, the debt starts. This is the first step on a very slippery slope. So the key thing to remember is that a credit card is a loan. It is not free money. Every time you swipe or tap, you are making a promise to pay that money back. Using it for convenience is fine, as long as you have a plan to clear the balance. The danger comes from treating it like an endless supply of cash. Without a careful budget and a clear idea of what you can afford to repay, you can quickly find yourself owing a lot of money. This can happen much faster than most people think, turning a useful tool into a financial burden. Now let's talk about the real sting in the tail interest. When you don't pay your credit card bill in full, the company charges you a fee on the money you still owe. This fee is called interest, and it's how they make their profit. The interest is calculated as a percentage of your outstanding debt. This percentage is called the annual percentage rate, or APR. A typical credit card APR can be quite high, often over 20%. This means that for every 100 pounds of debt you have, you could be charged 20 pounds in interest over a year. This is a very expensive way to borrow money. The real danger is how this interest gets added to your debt. It isn't just a one-time charge. The interest is usually calculated daily and added to your bill every month. So, if you have a debt, the next month you will be charged interest on the original debt plus the interest from the month before. This is known as compound interest. It makes your debt grow all by itself, even if you don't spend another penny on the card. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small but gets bigger and bigger, faster and faster, making it much harder to stop. Let me give you a clear example of how this works. Imagine you have a 1,000 pound debt on a card with a 20% APR. If you only make the minimum payment each month, which is a very small amount, it could take you many, many years to clear the debt. During that time, you would pay back far more than the 1,000 pounds you originally borrowed. A large chunk of your payments would just be covering the interest charges, not reducing the actual debt. This is how people get trapped. They make payments every month but see their debt hardly go down at all. This is why only paying the minimum amount on your credit card bill is a financial trap. The minimum payment is designed by the card companies to keep you in debt for as long as possible. It ensures they can collect the maximum amount of interest from you over time. It gives you a false sense of security, making you think you are managing the debt. In reality, your debt is likely growing, or at best, shrinking incredibly slowly. To beat the debt, you must always aim to pay more than the minimum, as much as you can possibly afford. Credit card debt is not just a numbers problem on a bank statement. It has a very real and very serious impact on your mental and emotional health. Constantly worrying about how you are going to pay the bills can be exhausting. This financial stress can follow you everywhere. It can make it hard to concentrate at work. It can keep you awake at night, tossing and turning as you think about the money you owe. This constant pressure can lead to feelings of anxiety, making you feel on edge and worried all the time. It's a heavy weight to carry around every single day. This worry can also affect your relationships with family and friends. Money is a common source of arguments between couples. Hiding debt from a partner can create secrets and mistrust. You might start avoiding social situations because you can't afford to go out. You might feel ashamed or embarrassed about your financial situation, which can make you feel very isolated. This feeling of being alone with your problem can make everything seem much worse. The stress doesn't just stay in your head, it can spill over and damage the most important parts of your life. The physical effects of this stress should not be ignored either. Long-term stress can lead to health problems like headaches, high blood pressure, and trouble sleeping. It can weaken your immune system, making you more likely to get ill. When you are worried about debt, it can be difficult to look after yourself properly. You might not eat well or get enough exercise. The constant state of alert that your body is in can take a huge toll over time. Your financial health and your physical health are often very closely linked, more than people realize. Ultimately, being in debt can feel like you have lost control of your own life. It can feel like the debt is in charge, making decisions for you. You might have to say no to opportunities like a new job in another city because you can't afford to move. You might have to put important life goals on hold, like saving for a house or starting a family. This loss of freedom and choice can be incredibly disheartening. It can lead to feelings of hopelessness, making it seem like you will never be free from the debt. This emotional burden is one of the most damaging parts of the debt cycle. The good news is that you can take back control. The first most important step is to face the problem head-on. Stop avoiding it. Get all your credit card statements together and find out exactly how much you owe and what interest rates you are paying. Write it all down. Seeing the full picture is crucial. Once you know what you are dealing with, you can make a proper plan. Create a realistic budget. Look at all your monthly income and all your outgoings. Be honest about where your money is going and find areas where you can cut back on spending. Once you have a budget, you can start tackling the debt. If you have debts on multiple cards, focus on paying off the one with the highest interest rate first. This is called the avalanche method. While you make the minimum payments on your other cards, throw every spare penny you have at the most expensive debt. Once that one is cleared, move on to the card with the next highest rate. Another option could be a 0% balance transfer card. This lets you move your existing debt to a new card that charges no interest for a set period, giving you breathing room to pay it off. To avoid getting into debt in the future, you need to change how you use credit cards. Treat them as a tool, not as extra income. A good rule is to only use your credit card for purchases you know you can afford to pay off in full at the end of the month. Don't use it for impulse buys. Before you buy something, ask yourself a simple question. Do I really need this, and can I afford it? If the answer is no, then don't buy it. Building up a small emergency fund in a savings account can also help, so you don't have to rely on a credit card for unexpected costs. Finally, remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you feel overwhelmed by your debt, there are fantastic free debt advice charities that can help you. Organizations like Step Change or National Debtline can offer expert confidential advice. They can help you create a budget and might even be able to talk to your lenders for you. Making smart money choices is a journey. It's about building good habits over time. By taking these practical steps, you can get out of debt, stay out of debt, and build a much healthier and happier financial future for yourself.